Yo, what's going on, guys? Kashi here. I've been in the make money online space for the last 3 years, and at the age of 18, I went from making literally $0 to 10K a month in pure profit. I then actually went on to make 40K a month at the age of 19 in pure profit while traveling the world, giving back to my family, and living the life that I wanted to live. And I didn't stop there. I actually went on to help dozens of young guys and girls just like myself go on to make money online, anywhere from their first commission checks to making 10, and some even going to do 30, 40K a month in pure profit, just like I did. And in this video, I'm gonna do something that I've never done before. I'm actually gonna give you guys and let you see a private coaching call that I ran this week within my community, the DSA. And the reason I'm doing this is I want you guys to see like what high level sales looks like, how to land opportunities, how to absolutely crush it in the high ticket sales space. And I feel like what we teach is very different from a lot of the communities in the make money online space. And the reason I know what I teach works is the proof is in the pudding. I myself have been making money online for the last 3 years. And as I said before, I've helped dozens of people do the exact same. So if you're watching this video, you're stuck, you don't know where to go, watch this video to the end, and I'm sure you're going to get some value. So yeah, let's jump in. Sweet. Let's start off. Since it's the start of the week, I've had a lot of wins flood my messages recently of roles, commissions, first money being made. So let's start off with some wins. They're extremely important. It basically sets the tone for the call and also sets the tone for the week. So who wants to go first? Who has wins for me? It can be sales related, roles related, interview related, anything. Ishi.
Yes, so I've been on this new Amazon FBA offer for the past week,
Yep.
and yesterday I had my first PIF, 3K PIF.
Let's go.
So that was a milestone, and Darren was my setter, so full circle for both of us.
Hectic, hectic. First of all, like, how did that feel? Because you've like set and closed deals before in B2B, but like now you're on a new offer and it's a pretty solid role. How did that feel like closing that 3K?
I thought I'd feel something more, but it
Yeah.
just felt natural. Like it just felt like a normal conversation, and yeah, it was good. Like it obviously it was a good feeling, yeah, for sure.
100%. So this is actually like a really important win. Now you know that you know how to sell. Like, people don't like sell by themselves. When people say like 10% of leads close by themselves, I agree for the most part. But if you need to get anywhere from a 20 to 30% close rate, that's not luck. Like, yeah, that's very average in terms of close rate, but you have to be doing something right. So what you need to do now is review that call, listen to that call over and over again. That way you build this belief system in your mind and just repeat it for the next 10 calls.
When you review calls, like when you review your own calls, how do you review it? Do you like review it like alongside the script, or kind of just like stop at parts where you feel like it doesn't sound great, or
Both. So I can go in more detail on this if you ask me a question afterwards. I actually go in more detail. High level overview, I would listen to the call and compare it to the calls that didn't close and look for the differences. Like what
Mhm.
answers am I getting on my winning calls that I'm not getting on my losing calls? Another example of this is just looking at the winning call and then on the side have the script that you follow. And anytime you're going off the script or off the process or off the principles, you just pause and then fix it from there. So it's a combination of everything. But the easiest way is just have your winning call here, have your script on the other side, and then just side by side, like every section of the call, just analyze it. And then an easier way, like after you've done this a couple of times, is the call that you just don't understand at all, the way you went wrong, bring it to me. I can help
Yeah.
you. Of course.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No trust. Kavi.
Yo, so I want to just pop in real quick before I went to bed
All good.
for dialing tomorrow morning, but had my third set on the new offer close today. It was 5.4K USD
Let's go.
on the payment plan. Financing is cracked in the US. It's like the best thing that's
Agree.
ever happened. But other than that, it's been really, really good so far. Getting a lot of support from the closers, the setters, and even like the closers saying good things about me, like people who are making like 40, 50, 60, 70K in the space, like saying good things about you just makes you feel really good. Um and even like my setting manager, like AJ, he's like saying good things and he's supporting me a lot. And he says I'm pretty switched on. So I'm just really keen to see where everything goes from here and just keep crushing. So yeah.
100%, bro. Now you're consistently making that money like every day, like, with setting. And I see you send me the screenshots every single day. And I see you on top of the leaderboard, on your team, which is like hectic. Like, that's so much social proof. But one thing that I'm going to share from Kavi's journey that I noticed is he constantly checks in with me, but like the number one thing he does is he just focuses on the inputs and tries to become like the best in terms of number of dials and hustle on his entire team. And when you're on a team that has such high standards like Cavi's, where there's people that are doing 40K a month to 80K a month in pure commissions, like that's the sort of standard you need to hold yourself to. But I wanted to ask you a question, bro. Like, what's one takeaway you've had being on a team like FES that does $2 to $3 million a month, and there's some closers there doing 50 to 80K a month pure commissions? Like, how does that feel, and what were like some takeaways you had from being on a team like that?
Bro, honestly, it feels surreal. Like it feels amazing. Because it's just like the environment is just so like it just pushes you to just do well and just do better. And I think for me, the biggest thing, right, like that I feel like I was lacking was just having a team culture, just like a team around me that's just gonna like keep pushing me and like helping me keep my standards high and also like allowing myself to keep my standards high. So it's just having those type of people around you, like those elite killer people. It just makes you just like put yourself in a different environment that makes you feel like, yeah, I need to make this work. And because of that, like it just gives you like leverage as well. And like when you just have that connections with people and like even when the managers like you and they see that you're putting in the work, it just pushes you even harder. Like it's crazy. Like I'm getting dreams of like my sets getting closed, and then when I wake up, I like go to my laptop and I check, oh shit, did this get closed? And I'm like, oh no, fuck, you got rescheduled. But it's crazy. Like it's a crazy obsession, and I'm loving it, man. I'm loving this game.
Dreaming is wild, bro. But like that's very relatable because I've been in that position multiple times, like in setting, in closing, in management, in coaching. Like there have been points. I think it's actually like I don't know what the psychology and science is behind it, but anytime like I'm in like such a locked in, dialed in mode, my routine's optimized, I sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. Like I go to bed just thinking about like my next day. And it got to the point where I just think about what I'm going to do and I visualize my next day. In my dream, I'm just waking up and working, and then like students are crushing it. Like I've had dreams, for example, where like every single person in DSA just messaged me at once and they're like, yo, I'm all on rolls, or like something like hectic like that. And when I was closing, it used to be like, close deals or set deals or whatever it is. So that makes sense, bro. I think that's a good win. It means that you're dialed in.
For
Good
sure. Thank you, bro.
no stress. Priyan, what's your win, bro?
Well, for me, I'm on advanced call. That's a big win for itself, but that's because I made 4K last month, so that was my big month, you could say, of
Let's go.
dubs and also commissions as well coming in. So I got even today I think I did like $60 or $70, but I got 8 set in. So I was like, and they were like very good calls. Like I think they didn't even have to do the triage call. The middle call doesn't even have to need to be like done because I spoke for 15 minutes with the guy, but I like discovered him and I actually spoke well. So it's been better. Like today's been a really good day. So
Great
yeah.
win, bro. I mean, like everyone listening into this call, like 4K a month, it might not seem like, a hectic amount of money. Like you're not going to be going to buy like property or Lambos like, right now. However, what that does is it gives you freedom to make decisions. Because when you know that all your bills are paid for, you don't need to worry about like money in the short term for the next like 6 to 12 months. If you make 4K every single month, it allows you to have more time. It allows you to quit your job. It allows you to double down on high ticket sales. And basically your journey just compounds from there. The hardest part is reaching that point of 4 to 5 or 10K a month. That's always like the hardest part. So that's a great win, bro. And all of you that just mentioned your wins right now, go and post. Pre, and you've already done it. And I think a couple of you have as well. But again, posting is a non-negotiable because it just builds your credibility and reputation in the space. These good stuff. Pravesh.
Yeah, so basically my win is got like last week 80% close rate. That's one thing, right? And yeah, most of them were pips as always, like pips only. Also got first 5K pip on this offer, like which is the high ticket one. That's one thing. Yeah, and just made like 3.7K in commissions that week. Yeah.
Wild. US, right?
Yeah, US dollars, yeah.
Dude, you are like the Indian millionaire right now, bro. Like, just go buy some property, go buy some farmland. Like, honestly, you could retire at this point, Pavesh. If you keep this up, bro, 3.5K, 3.7K US in 2 weeks. That's almost like 5K Australian, basically on track for
Yeah.
10K a month Australian. That's a lot of money in India, dude. Like, if you keep consistently doing that, it's like, yeah, so
And
much.
also, that's not the only thing. Got recognized by like I don't know if you know Dan, like on the basically like he's the top performer on the Yash software.
Okay. What about him?
Basically, he just texted me by saying, "Oh man, I just saw that you got like 80% close rate and 100% rate. Super proud of you and congrats." He just said, I was like, bro,
Yeah,
what the
that's sick, bro. 100% close rate and then 80% close rate. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna say the same thing. Document, document, document. Like, screenshot those messages that people send you. Screenshot it. Why? Because you can use it in your Loom. Screenshot the leaderboard where it says
fuck?
80% close rate, 100% close rate. Save all of your call recordings in a Google Drive. If you do that, bro, it's like such big leverage. Like, you're going to be in a really big position, especially like among all the other closers that are in India specifically. No
Uh-huh.
one's even like at your level right now, like majority of people. So you just stand out from everyone, which is
Yeah,
good.
for sure.
Jeez.
We'll do that. And he said, like, let's hop on a call. Like, he literally asked me, a friend, like, let's hop on a call. And I was like, cool. Probably I'll find like a better role as well. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, let me know how that goes. Great job, bro. Darren.
Yeah, like Ishi said, she closed my set, so I made my first money online.
That's so awesome, bro. Setters and close within DSA. Like, I mean, obviously I've seen that happen before, but that's great. How does it feel like, how does it feel one to like set and actually close your first deal, but also like what were the main takeaways that you had? Like now that you've joined this new role and you already made money from it, what was the main takeaway?
Yeah, like it's a good role. Like I think like once you start putting in the inputs, like the outputs will come eventually. Like you just gotta just dial in. Even if like nothing's like going right or anything, everything compounds.
Yeah, I agree. That's great advice. Make sure to go and post. Good stuff. Grayson.
Yo, so past 2, 3 weeks been pretty crazy because I hopped off full-time job, landed 3 roles, two closing, one setting, and I decided, hey, we'll stick with the setting role, and now I'm on FES, so that's fucking huge, like huge, huge for me.
Huge, bro. Huge. Like the fact that you're able to land that with limited experience, especially because I would say FES is one of the best opportunities in the space for setting right now. Like there are definitely better ones, but for a beginner, like man, that's like very ideal. It's like a 1K US base, I think, right? Plus commission.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone there is like 10K a month. But I'd love to know on your end, what was the main thing that you did differently that allowed you to stand out to land FES, especially with limited amount of experience? Like, what are some of the things that
Mm.
you implemented that you felt?
I think the Lock Your Pure thing was good. I think that actually putting in like multiple looms in a document, it makes you stand out rather than just one talking head video. That
Yep.
definitely helped because I woke up the next morning, like when I applied last, I woke up the next morning, all my looms got watched, and it was like a notification popped up, and I was like, oh, okay, it actually worked. I think that definitely stands out a lot as well. I guess like from an interview stage, what I did differently was I was just like not overthinking it. Like I was just very chill, very detached going in. It was just the type of person that AJ and Sammy are, just very chill people. Yeah, I think last time I was overthinking it a lot, like, oh, what the hell do I do? What the hell do I do? But this time it was just like more detached style, just more relaxed and cruisy.
Great, bro. 100%. Congratulations, bro. That's a life-changing opportunity. Like, I don't say that you like, usually for opportunity, but this one is like genuinely a life-changing one. If I was you, like document, 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 go and like, compete with Cavi for top of the leaderboard. He's too comfortable there with dials, bro. I need to see you up there as well and just focus on the inputs. That's all you need to do. Peace. Sounds good. Andrea, last one.
Yeah, so I landed my role last night.
Go.
So I'm very happy with that. Yeah, I was very nervous going in because um I don't know, it's been like 10 months since I last did sales. So yeah, I think really nervous jumping back in. Only did like two role plays, and that was with Bao like a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And then he liked my Loom video, so he didn't really question me anything. He just let me ask questions about the offer and did a role play on the spot. So I wasn't really expecting that role play, but yeah, I just pushed through it and got the role.
Perfect. Amazing. Like that's exactly what you need. Now you just got to like jump back into it and get back into the flow. Like just go on this opportunity, do as many dials as possible, show up on these group calls, get your calls reviewed, and like again, just focus on the inputs. Don't overthink. Don't worry about what's next. Just like, double down on what you're already doing. Great
Yeah.
work. And of course, go on post as always. Sweet. Everyone, that was like probably, like a really, really great start through a DSA call. And every single DSA call, like, should start off with this. Why? Because it reinforces that belief of, what we do here actually works. But also, like, when you're surrounded by winners, you become the next one. So, like, I'm always a firm believer in that. And this is something that I wished in terms of culture I had in mentorship programs. So, like, shout out to everyone that shared their wins, that didn't share their wins, that listened in. Like, I think that was amazing. Great work. Alrighty, now let's jump into a Q&A. Who has questions for me on sales, networking, interviews? They're stuck on something, they need help to go to the next level. Let me know, and then we'll jump into a call review. Grayson.
I just had a question about like routine because it's gonna be like really early starts, like 4 a.m. Or 3 a.m. even. So I was just wondering, how should I best prepare for that like transition into like really early starts and have the energy for the whole day to work like 10 hours and actually feel rejuvenated enough for the next day to just keep going?
Cool, great question. Now, on your offer, I would 100% put like double the effort that's needed at the start, just because like it's such a good opportunity and you want to like leave a good impression. So having your calendar organized is very important. Now, for context, you don't have a job or anything right now, right? Like that's all out the window. Now you have full freedom. Okay, cool. So if that's the case, you need to like set up your wake up time and set up like the time that you're going to go to bed. So you start at around 4 a.m. So I would recommend getting in around 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, if you can't get a full 8 hours, 7 hours, in my opinion, is bare minimum. And again, it varies from person to person. You know yourself more than I do. So I would go to bed at around 10, around like, 9, maybe even 9. I think that would be ideal. 9 to 10, like, you should be going to bed. And then you wake up at around, 3:30, 4 a.m. and get started with the day. I will test that out first. That is going to be the most important part for you keeping the routine, because if you stay past 10, bro, you stay past 9, then you're just going to like cook your sleep and you're not going to be energized for the next day. So the most important one is actually like sleep. Yeah. So Kavi just said sleep at like 8 to 9. Yeah. I think that's being very safe. And then wake up at 3:30 to 4. And then once you do that over and over again, you're going to get into a routine. Now, the next thing I would do is from the moment you wake up to the moment that you go to bed, everything should be in your calendar. Your dialing times, what dialing times are the most productive, like where do people pick up the most? Feel free to ask Kavi because he's literally on the offer and you can ask him like, yo, which are the ones that pick up the most, what times? And then just block those times out. Now, if I was you, like because you just started on the team, just dial as much as you can over those 10-hour period and take rest breaks in between. And then, at the end, just cool down, wind down, and go straight to bed. You just need to do this over the next like 2 to 3 months, and then it becomes unconscious. Then we can add like a bunch of other things. Right now, just keep it bare minimum simple. Go to bed at 8 to 9, maximum 10. Wake up at 3:34, around there. Take all your setting calls for however long it is, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is. At 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. you finish, and then wind down, go to the gym, go do whatever you want for the next 5-6 hours, and then just go to bed.
Cool.
Peace. Don't try to add like 30 different things in your day, because you're just going to get burnt out and it's not high ROI. Right now you just need simple routines. Sweet ass. Darren.
Yep. So today was actually like my first day, like actually dialing a lot. Like I think I did like 200 dials today or something.
Right.
And like last week, I think I barely did any, like I didn't do that many dials, right? Like I did like I don't know, like 100 per day.
Yeah.
And like today, like I found that like during the end of the day, like during like 4, 5, 6 o'clock, like I was just fully like gone. Like I couldn't like I didn't even like want to like press the dial thing because like
Yeah.
I was just so like cooked, right?
Yeah.
So like how would you like how do I like not like get rid, but like how do you deal with like that sort of fatigue?
Yeah, great. So I like to compare like high ticket sales, online business, anything input related to like the gym. Like I compare all the time. And I'm gonna like help you train this. Okay, I'm gonna help you train this. Basically, what happened is you've been like dialing 100 dials every single day for the last like week or so. So that is like your norm in the back of your mind, Darren. So when you suddenly go from 100 dials to 200 dials the next day, it's like, of course, it's gonna feel hard because you literally just doubled the amount of input that you do. So what you want to do is it's like going to the gym and one day you've been bench pressing like 50 kilograms for like a week and the next day you just put 2 plates and do 100 kilos for reps. Like of course it's gonna freaking feel hard, bro. Like, you're gonna feel like your bones are about to break, right? That's why we slowly progressively overload. So if I was you, start off with 100 dials for a week and then the next week do 125 and then the next week do 150 and the next week do 175. And if you still feel like that progression is hard, cool, just do 10 more dials a day. And then within the span of 10 weeks, you're going to be at $200 a day easily. And what that'll do is you won't even feel it. It'll feel so simple. It'll feel like it's the norm and you push through that. But when you try and rush it and you just go straight to 200, yeah, you might be able to do that for a week, but you're just going to burn out and go back to 100. And I'd rather you not do that. So slowly increase your dials. And then just give it time, bro. And it will become so normal. And what you'll realize is if you look back at this 5 to 6 months from now and you're going to be like, man, 200 dials, that was like so easy. Like, why was I sweating about that?
Yeah, yeah. And then like another question, like uh like I review my calls, right? And then like I sound a bit like my energy is kind of low, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like if I do put in like energy and like sound or like have like a higher
Yeah.
like tonality or something, that I sound like fake. So I don't really know like where like how do I like sound in it like energetic but like still like keep like like
Yeah, I get your question. I'd love to review a call because that will give me full context on what your energy is like right now, and I'll tell you straight away. But high level overview to find like your natural voice, bro, you want to always aim towards higher energy as a beginner. Why? Because when you're starting off, most of the time you just have lower energy and you don't even realize it. And whatever you're thinking in your mind on how your voice sounds like is actually not how your voice sounds like. Have you ever like, put a voice note or something to someone and you play it back and you're like, damn, what the hell? That's like, that does not sound like me. It's the exact same thing. So whatever you think is high energy in your mind probably isn't. So I would mentally always do 20% more, 30% more high energy than what I think is high energy for me. That way it comes out correctly. And then over time, you'll find that balance as you review it with me and as you listen back to it. So if you're listening back to it and it sounds lower energy, then dude, go really, really high. And even if you go overboard with energy, which I just don't think, is really a problem. But if you do go overboard, then you will slowly, naturally bring it back down. And as you do that over time, bro, your neutral tonality will just like naturally be higher. Like your baseline voice will naturally be higher over time. But I'd have
yeah.
to review it to see like where you're at.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
But yeah, that's just a limiting belief. Don't think that that's gonna
Yeah.
sound fake or whatever at all. Peace. Yosh.
I had a question about offer stacking a US role,
Yeah.
and simply because I've hopped on interviews and stuff, but always in the back of my mind, I'm like, how am I gonna balance like working mornings and then like do I go to sleep or do I just like thug it out and like sort of like do something during the day and then stay up and do the offer and then go to bed somewhere else or like 11 to 7 US and then Everlab 8 to 1 and then go to bed. So
Okay.
I know you work too, so I was wondering.
Yeah. So in this scenario, I always like to do like the offers back to back, like all in
Mm.
one. So I like to do US and then Oz. So if you're in Yasha's situation where you're making good money from one offer and like you have financial freedom for the most part with that opportunity where you're able to make money with very little hours, you work from like 8 to 1, right? Like
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, that's perfect, bro. Like, you're making good money from that. So I would like put in all your calls before 8 a.m. And that's like the best time for you as well, anyway, in the US. So I would do like 11 to 8, like the one that you just suggested, or 12 to 8, whatever it is, and then go to bed right after, you finish your overlap and then just wake up at that time is what I would do.
Okay. Where would you like, did you slide gym and stuff into it as well?
Yes,
Into
I
your
would always
routine?
slide gym towards the end of the day. You do not want to hit gym like before you start dialing, unless you feel like that energizes you and that motivates you, then that's fine. People are different. But in my scenario, bro, gym makes me tired. Like any physical effort makes me tired. Like, I don't know, I feel like the average human gets tired
Yeah.
from like, doing physical exercise. So I just do it towards the end. But again, people are different.
Wait, so like at the end of like your last offer and then go and then come back and sleep?
No, at the very end of like everything. But if you want to do it that way, it's fine. I wouldn't recommend doing it at the start of your day. I just think that's
No, like at the end, like at one, like if say I finish off overlap calls after I've gone back to back and then go gym and then come back and sleep. Is that what you mean?
Oh, yes, and then go
Yeah.
gym. Like the
Yeah.
last thing you do before you sleep is gym. That's what I do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, sweet.
But yeah, let me know like what structure you have for that and I'll review it. But I think that's fine.
Easy.
And
Thank
worst case scenario, man, you can reduce your hours on the offer that you have because it's such a good offer and you make like good money from it with very little hours. So
Easy.
yes, Pravesh.
Yeah, so the question I had, like, this offer is good, but there might be even better roles, right? For sure
Mhm.
there are. So
Mhm.
I guess how can I leverage like everything I am doing right over here to get like another role?
Yeah, this is a great question. And I'm glad you're asking this on an advanced call because nearly like basically every single one of you, like apart from like very new students, you're all on roles, which is like great, which is amazing. So all this applies to like every single person on this call pretty much. So if I was you and you're on a roll and you're making money or you're doing your first, I was like, Pravesh, you had like an 80 to 100% close rate. The thing that you've not missed, like you kind of missed out on, but you should do is like document your journey on social media. Document your journey on school, document, especially on your own personal social media. Why? Because when you're doing it in real time and people see you going through the journey, like you attract higher level people. So the easiest thing you can leverage is even if you don't want to post it now, just record the videos, record yourself like doing calls, just put a tripod up and like the whole day of you just taking closing calls, like have those live days and like document that entire journey. That's the easiest thing you can do. That way people come inbound to you. Number two is once you do the social media thing, once you actually just post on stories, even just at the end of the day, post how much money you made, post how much like, sales you made. Then what happens is people start coming to you. And when you go reach out to people, they're going to see your highlights. They're going to see your story and realize that, man, Pravesh is not a beginner closer. He's someone who's made like 3.5K US in 2 weeks and has an 80 to 100% close rate, full-time closing. That's huge. So your reply rate to networking is just going to increase as well. So those are the two highest ROI things that you can do, like moving forward. And then of course, network with everyone on the opportunity and like just take as many interviews as you can, but don't like, if there's not a good role, don't accept it, but just like try and line up as many interviews as you can regardless.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Yes.
So just like kind of record, like, I'm confused, like
Yeah.
what exactly should I?
Okay, I'm going to make it very simple for you. I'm going to make it super simple and then we can make it complicated. Literally, at the end of the day, bro, just look at how much money you made, how many dials you did, how many closing calls you took, just post it on your story.
Okay.
Easiest thing you can do. It takes 2 minutes. You can make you don't even need to choose a photo. Just make a black background, white text, this much closed, this much money. Now, obviously, it's not the most ideal post, but who cares? You're a beginner. No one's going to care about it. You just need to like get consistency with doing things. That's all you need.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
Easy. Ishan.
So similar to Yash's question, I'll start closing tonight.
Okay.
So my closing hours are 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. and then my dialing hours are 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So like I'm just confused on like when do I fit in the gym and then
Set those say those times again. Which one was US and which one's Oz?
so US is the closing one, which is from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay.
My Australian one is from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I would go gym in between. Like you have no choice. In that scenario, like you have no choice. But tell me like more about the offer and I'll like give you some advice. So the US closing role, do you reckon if you had to choose one role out of everything, which role would you prioritize? The US closing or the Australian offer?
To be fair, the US one.
Okay, cool. But that's going to make you the most amount of money, you reckon, and most amount of skill development for the most part?
100%.
Okay, cool. 100% easy. So obviously, Ishan, like you have a great problem, which is you have too many offers to handle, which is great. Like it's a good problem to have. But in this scenario, like I would always choose and prioritize the opportunity that's going to make you the most amount of money. So in this scenario, if you have both US and both Oz, and the US is going to make you more money, you would like ideally lower your hours on Australia a little bit. Now, feel free to do both and then go to the gym in between and try all that out. In my opinion, though, since you've already landed the US closing, I would just lower your hours as much as possible on Australian like not till 2 p.m. I might do like 8 a.m. to like 10 a.m. or something, and then just go to bed, right? And do whatever you need. I think it's like low ROI for you to stay on two offers at once, especially when you're a beginner. And one of them is obviously better than the other. So that's the long-term plan. But right now, if I had to fit it in, I would put gym in between. Yeah. Good position to be in, bro. But let me know when you make that decision and how that opportunity goes, and we can make decisions. Peace. Good stuff. Alrighty. Let's jump into a call review. And if anyone else has any other questions, we can answer them at the end as well. Now, a couple of you messaged me about call reviews. Ishi, let's review your call.
Yeah, I've just sent it on Zoom.
Alrighty. Pravesh, I'll answer your question in a second, bro. Let me just pull this up. All right, we're about to review.
Sorry, you go first.
No, I was just gonna say we're about to review your like full call. Like I'm gonna go through everything. So I'm gonna go through your discovery. I'm gonna go through your pre-handling. I'm gonna go through not the pitch, but also your objection handling and how like you onboard people as well. But you go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, I don't think I wouldn't consider it a good call on my end. I think I was just very tired this day and my questions weren't that sharp. I think I closed maybe because I said a few of the right things and maybe he felt like a safe energy because he had like bad previous experiences. But I don't know, like if I say a few weird things, like I know.
Nah, it's totally cool. Don't stress. Like the biggest thing we want to take away from this call is what are the one or two things you did correctly here? Because people don't close by accident. Like it could be your tonality, it could be the safe energy, it could be how you phrase certain questions, which like I'll deep dive into and have a look. But no stress. Pravesh. Yo, Pravesh, do you have a question, bro?
Yeah. So the question I had is like about the report building itself in like first few minutes. Here's the thing, like most of the people do, the way this call works, XYZ, XYZ. But what I saw recently was most of the people like Matt Ryder and Yash, what they do is like, okay, like how you doing? Okay, you're doing good. Like if they ask you, I'm just being a boring guy in India or somewhere like that, right? And after that, they directly just jump in by saying, okay, man, it looks like you booked in this call to get some possible help with XYZ. So tell me, how can I help you? So is it like good way to do it? Because that's how currently I'm doing.
I think I think it's especially because what you're doing currently now is working for you. I think your energy and tonality is the most important part with rapport building, not necessarily what you say. And if you're comfortable saying that and it sounds natural to you, which for the most part did, I would just run with it. Don't like try to change things just because it might sound like the words are better or whatever. Like you need to like do rapport building as to what you feel comfortable because it's all about energy. And if this is what you've been running and you're comfortable with it, just stick to it, bro. Don't change it.
Okay, but like I'm kind of confused. So why is there a difference between like doing on a proper like whole giving like a full segment for like just report building and on the other end it's just like they just directly jump in.
Yeah, it's all preference. So in this scenario, like if you want to just jump into a call and you're like, hey, let's jump right into it. What was the main motivation? And you don't want to build any rapport whatsoever. I think if you prefer to do that and you understand the reasonings behind why you're doing that, then yeah, sure. But I think for majority of people in the sales space, if we look at it from a majority standpoint, building some sort of rapport, one or two questions before you get into it, always makes the call easier. Just where are you calling from? What have you been up to? Two simple. I think like it just makes the call easier, like standardized in the sales space. But again, people are different. Sometimes people just want to jump into it and that's their preference.
And one more question real quick. One thing that I recently watched in Matt Ryder video, it was like, he's mentioned about the new selling of any PQ style.
Sure.
It's like, earlier it was like, okay, what you're currently doing for work and, that sort of stuff, like, especially for improvement offer, like TJ has, it's like, okay, so I guess the first question I would ask over there is like, okay, man, so tell me like, on your like whole like e-commerce thing, where do you feel like you struggle the most? And then okay, then what are you currently doing to solve that problem? And okay, how long have you been doing that? So it's not working out, right? So besides that, what actually are you doing to get better?
Yeah,
Oh,
like I think like all of those processes, I know what you're getting at. I think those processes work. And if you want to run that way, I think there's no difference. If you start off with what they tried and what their problem is, and then you go into pain, I genuinely think there is no difference if you feel more comfortable doing it. I just find that when you go into pain, you go into their personal current situation, it allows them to open up, and then you go into what's wrong with their business. It just makes it a lot smoother and easier. But both
okay.
those process do the same. If I was you, Pravesh, I wouldn't overthink it. Right now, you're closing at a good close rate. Your process is clearly working. You're hopping on the group calls and like taking away things. Don't try to change too much. You're already doing well. It's a very common mistake. Just do what you're already doing, is what I would say.
Yeah, no, last thing, the way I actually do it is now my offer is also kind of similar. It's like also improvement and also like people who are completely new, right? So for that, like for improvement people, I do like the most likely the way the new NVPQ like right now just mentioned that way. And for people who are completely new, I just stick to like what was your main motivation? That's kind of framework. So is it okay like if I do different on like different prospects?
Yeah, I would run it and split test it. If you want to run it like that, that's fine. I think it's fine. Especially, I'm targeting this advice for you. For you, that's fine. Just run it.
Yeah.
Cool. Don't overthink. Ease. Alrighty, let's review this. And let's see how you go.
Good, thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Hi, so just a quick introduction. My name is Ishi. I'm the customer success manager here at Ecom Educate. Whereabouts are you calling from, by the way?
For context, Ishi's selling like an Amazon FBA coaching opportunity, very similar to what TJ's selling, but more like, I guess, a little bit more B2C. First of all, like energy, great. Like you come in with big smile, good energy. You actually don't seem tired, which is great.
Merrimack in Queensland.
Queensland, okay.
Gold Coast, yeah.
Gold Coast, nice. I'm actually from Sydney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I was having a look over your application. Seems like you're booked in to potentially learn about starting your own online business today. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, awesome. Now, these calls are very basic. The first part of this call is very relaxed, very easy.
I wouldn't say very basic, okay? I would say like these calls are very simple, maybe. I wouldn't say like very basic, because what that does is it basically sets the tone for we're not going to be covering much on this call, but the reality is you're going to be going deep into his personal life and motivation. So I would just be like, usually these calls are very, very simple, something like that.
Okay. The word basic is on my script, but I can just change that up from now on.
Just change it. It's not really, really deep, but I think like some sophisticated people, they'll listen to that and it will just like trigger them. So just get
easy, just a chance for me to get to know you, your goals, your background a little more. And then if I feel like what we do could be a good fit, then I'll just walk you through it and I'll answer any of your questions. Does it sound
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess a good place to start would be, what is your kind of overall motivation to even look into starting an online business?
Just to have a bit of passive income.
Okay. What do you mean by
Yeah,
that?
Let's see how you handle this. I'm going to give you my way to handle it. So we'll see. But the first question was great. What was your overall motivation? I would have even said, what was your main motivation? Like switch the word overall to main, because that just gets like the main motivation now. Otherwise, they might go on a rant. But what are your thoughts?
Okay. I think I kind of switch between a few questions when I start the call, because in our script, we start with like overall outcome, but then in my previous roles and what you go with is like main motivation. So kind of switch between those two.
Fine. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with. I would say like motivation, the word motivation should be there. If you do overall or main, doesn't really matter. Like you just do like what works for you, as long as you get the same outcome. Like there isn't a huge difference between the questions, but yeah, go.
Yeah, that was basically it.
Oh, okay, cool. Easy.
Yeah.
Darren.
Well, yeah. I actually say the main motivation question on like when I set them too. So wouldn't they kind of like feel like wouldn't they like why are we saying it like two times? It's like if I'm saying on the setting call and if Ishi says it on the closing call, wouldn't that like overlap?
Yeah. I'll tell you. I'll tell you like that's a very good question, by the way. It's like if I'm setting and I'm asking them the same questions, like when they hop on a closing call, won't they feel like it's scripted, or won't they feel like it's repeated, and when they get frustrated? I would say it's a limiting belief. And the reason for that is, dude, prospects, if you go and ask Darren, like you called one of your prospects up before they hopped on the call with Ishi, and you asked them, hey, do you remember like what questions I asked you on the call? Guarantee you, they're literally gonna know like zero questions that you ask them, because most prospects just go off energy, they go off tonality, and they just go off pure vibes. That's what matters. They're not gonna like remember, oh, Darren specifically asked me what was the main motivation, and Ishi's asked me the same thing. And even if they do, it doesn't matter. because Ishii hasn't had a conversation beforehand and it's from a different person. So I wouldn't say it matters at all. And most prospects don't even remember what happens on the call itself.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all good.
Just to have a bit of passive income.
Okay, what do you mean by
Yeah,
that?
something else. Yeah, just to complement my, I guess my working life.
Okay, so something on the side while you work as well.
Yeah, up until a point, yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah. What is it that you do for work at the moment?
I work in oil and gas.
Oil and gas. Okay, what do you mean by that?
All over really. Mostly in Western Australia, but occasionally overseas in Singapore, Indonesia, or Malaysia.
Oh, okay. So is this like manual kind of work, like you work in like?
Yeah, unfortunately, it is manual kind of work, though. Yeah.
Okay. Do you enjoy it?
Unfortunately, that's a negative word. I would have probed on that, especially because he was so nice. Like he was so positive about the whole thing, and then he goes, "Unfortunately." I would have straight away been like, "Unfortunately," like, what do you mean? Unfortunate? Why's that? Straight away. That's just an easy way to get into the negative because he might like it, but he clearly doesn't like it's not the thing that he wants to do 24/7 for the rest of his life. That's why he said unfortunately.
I think that's good because sometimes I ask probing questions and then I get positive answers from them, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted.
It's fine. But the really positive thing here, Isha, and everyone can learn from this, is even though you're a beginner closer, your energy and conviction is very high. Like you're not wavering when you're asking the questions, and he's giving you some pretty vague answers, just on passive income, something on the side, but you're still keeping that positive smile, conviction, energy, and that's huge because it basically sets the frame and authority. So I would definitely keep that going into all your other calls. But let's see where you go.
Okay, do you enjoy it?
I do, yeah. I'm just getting a little bit long in the tooth to sort of maintain it long term. So that's why I'm, looking at other avenues.
Yeah, okay. I mean, is it kind of very like intensive and you have to be very physically active all day? Like what does your lifestyle look like at the moment?
Yeah, it's pretty
cool. Small thing. So everyone listen up. He basically goes, it's a little bit long in the tooth for it to maintain long term, something along the lines of that. So what he's basically getting at is it's hard for me to maintain long term. Now, you basically, Ishi, give an answer that's summarized and you go, yeah, so it's like intensive, physical, hard, active all day, right? And he's like, yeah, it's active all day. What have you done? You've just like regurgitated the pain of that prospect, of him, back to himself, and it just won't land as hard. Instead, can anyone tell me how can like Ishi re-ask this question so that he tells us these things? Who wants to give it a shot? Say sure.
I'm just asking about when he said like he's not able to maintain it long term, or like how come? Like what are the things in your day-to-day life that make you feel like you aren't able to, do this on a long term?
Yeah, perfect, spot on. I couldn't have done it better. Like maybe one thing I would have not changed, but it's personal preference. I would have been like, what is it that you do day to day in work, in the mines, or whatever it was that makes you feel like it's not sustainable long term? I would have been even more specific with it and been like, what is it day to day you do in the job that makes you feel like it's not sustainable long term? But that's a perfect question. And it's fine, Ishi, because it literally doesn't make a difference right now because you're a beginner. But if you want to get to 60-70% close rate, it's those little things that matter. And I'm telling you this because I want you to improve call to call.
Yeah, when I see my call back, I agree. But in the moment, it's so hard to just have a question on the spot. So I feel like I need to give myself 2 seconds to just like repeat what they say and then think of another question.
It's fine. And you just said it yourself. I'll tell you the easiest tip for this if you're a beginner, right? When you're a beginner starting off, probably the most slept on thing in sales is listening skills. And like you just said it, if I had 2 seconds to review it and then like ask the question, you probably would have got it. Well, the reason you didn't have time to review it is you weren't actively listening. You didn't write down notes. You didn't write down the keywords that he was saying as he said that answer. So what I did as a beginner is I would have a sheet of paper in front of me or like, a notes page on my laptop. And as they're saying their answer, I'm not writing paragraph notes. I'm just writing the words. Okay, long term. Sustain. So then while they're doing the answer, they're giving me all these like keywords and it gives me extra time to think about my question. So us even practicing this right now, Ishi, it's training you for that. And as you do that more and more for the next 6 months to a year, eventually it'll become subconscious and you don't need notes anymore. Like when I take sales calls now, like I've taken over 2,000 live calls. For the most part, I don't use notes anymore, right? Because it's very unconscious in my mind.
Yeah, okay. I'll start writing things down from tomorrow.
Just small things. Doesn't have to be paragraphs, like 1 or 2 words. That way you have time to think, right? Yes. Say sure.
Just on that note, like, is it encouraged to write down notes as you're, having a call with a prospect?
Yeah, so I would recommend it. I think it's a limiting belief if you think like, sometimes prospects might be like, why is this person taking notes? Is this like, too scripted or whatever? I think it's just a limiting belief. Most people on meetings when it's business related take notes. If you don't want like prospects to know you're taking notes, literally just go on the notes app and write down words and just look straight at the camera. if you feel like
Yeah.
limiting belief and you don't want to write pen and paper. But I've written notes like multiple times on my calls on Zoom, and I don't think it makes a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah, peace, Pravesh.
Yeah, so real quick about the notes itself, I don't know, but I might be wrong.
Okay.
But the way now I know like what kind of answers I'm looking for a specific question. So
Okay.
whenever they just give me the answer, okay, it just gets in my head and now it's locked in. Like,
Yeah.
basically I know, okay, what I'm asking, what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
And I got that answer. So should I then also write the notes
Yeah,
or?
so for you, like I think like anyone can write notes, but you just said it, Pravesh. Since you've done closing and like you've been practicing for so long, like you've done so many reps, you've showed up on literally every single group call, you've done the practice like this over time and time again. Ishi hasn't yet, which is why she's struggling with that. For you, like that skill set of listening will be a lot higher than someone like Ishi who's starting off. So I think for you, like, yeah, notes, like you don't need to have it, but will they help you? Yeah, of course, bro. Like it's like, would you rather, if you had a shopping list, right? And let's say your mom told you to go shopping like right after this call and get like, 10 different things and she just read it out to you. Would you rather write those things down and go do the shopping, or would you rather just try and memorize it? You probably can do it from memory, but if you have a list, it'll help you, right?
Yeah, I'll still write it though.
Yeah. I just think of it like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah. And one more thing about the question itself, when prospect said something, right? I don't know if this is like too vague to ask, but like, what do you think? I would be like, okay, man, cool. Like sustainable, like how do you mean by that?
Yeah, I think it's a very similar question. I think like a better one was the one Seisha asked, which is like very specific, where it's like what's happening right now, and it's very specific, But I think that's the same outcome.
Okay.
But just less ineffective. Let's keep going.
Yeah, okay. I mean, is it kind of very like intensive and you have to be very physically active all day? Like what does your lifestyle look like at the moment?
Yeah, it's pretty much at work. We work month on month. So when I'm at work, it's quite physical, quite demanding. But I love my work. It's good, interesting. And then when I'm home, usually it's just working around the house and looking after the kids.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And how long have you been doing that for, that kind of work?
15, 20 years.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that makes sense. And I guess looking into an online business, right? Most people come to us either looking for like time freedom or location freedom or financial freedom. So would you say either, like which one of those would you say aligns with you the most?
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you what was the intention behind this question, but I'm just going to assume for time reasons, like it was on the script and you just read it from the script because it was there. Okay, I see a smile. So in this scenario, like, I think it's fine. Honestly, this question is fine. If you feel comfortable following the script and you want to say it, it's fine. This question doesn't serve a purpose. It's definitely a waste of time, but does it do any negative? Not really. Like, I just think it's a floating question. Like, it doesn't move the needle. Can anyone tell me why this question doesn't move the needle?
Can I just justify this, like why I asked it? So when we start with the overall outcome, see, I'm mixing like two processes, that's why. When you ask the overall outcome question, then if you don't get a clear outcome of what they're looking for, then the next part of the process is like give them an ABC option.
That makes sense. However, in this scenario, like we had a clear idea of what his like outcome was, and that means that you just weren't listening or had notes enough, or it wasn't clear in your mind, which is a skill set that will come with time. But we can clearly see here he talks about freedom, time, heavy work. So yeah, that's why I said this question isn't bad. Like it's not a negative. It just gives you more clarity. But I think like you could have done without this question, regardless.
Should I just skip that whole overall outcome section?
If you don't feel confident, if you don't feel like you know what his main motivation is, what his outcome is, feel free to ask it. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think moving forward into the calls, you'll have a good idea of where to go with this. Make sense?
Yeah.
It's because it's such a yes or no question, by the way. That's why I don't like it. Let's keep going.
And having more time and having time freedom obviously means different things to different people. So what exactly does it mean to you?
Yeah, just sort of maintaining on my off days or off time, which it's a month really. So just trying to get something happening in that month where I'm not really doing a lot as far as income is concerned anyway. So just trying to get something started for me and then hopefully pass it on to my kids.
Okay, yeah, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess like what is it about your current job that makes you feel like you don't have that kind of time freedom? Because as you mentioned, you do have a month off like every second month, right? So what is it about your current lifestyle where you feel like, yeah, this isn't really giving me the kind of time freedom I want?
Probably my age.
Great. This is the question that Seisha was talking about, pretty much, like, just reworded a little bit. And this is the question you should have asked from the get-go, which is fine. You at least got to it. This is why, like, this call closed. So good job.
Really giving me the kind of time freedom I want.
Probably my age. I'm almost 60, so I just need to get something other than investments, something else, sort of passive income,
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
and just build up. Like start off small, obviously, and then just try and as I learn more, go through the process of upscaling eventually.
Now, did he answer the question properly? No, like he didn't give me specific tasks. That's why the safest question that she said was perfect. Like that would have been the perfect question to ask right there. That way you could have just got all the facts very smoothly, but it's fine. You basically get it yourself and you go,
Can you say
how
that
many?
question? Sorry, can you say that question again?
The question that Seisha asked and I would ask is something along the lines of, hey, like what specifically is it about the job that you do right now that makes you feel like it's not sustainable long term? Or another way to do it is what specific tasks do you do on a day-to-day basis that makes you feel like this isn't sustainable for your age? See, that's a very specific question. And the answers he's going to give back to that is, oh, like, I don't know, I'm just going to use an example, lifting anchors or oil rigs or like, like heavy manual labor or lower back pain. Like there's so much actual pain there that we could have gone into. But you realize that subconsciously, Ishi, and you basically go into it anyway. You ask, how many hours do you work a day? And you slowly get into it. So I'm telling you this because there are a lot of positives on this call. I'm not surprised that this call closed because you do go into it. It's right here.
12 hours a day.
12 hours a day. Wow, that's
Yep.
long. Must be intensive as well.
And a month straight, so no breaks.
No breaks for the whole
in a
month.
month. No.
Wow, that must be really tiring and exhausting.
Yes, it is. Can be. Yeah. Yes.
Wow, okay. I guess like what is that time kind of taking away from you? Like what would you rather be doing with that time if you had that kind of time freedom in the month that you're working?
Just like I said, just to try and get something in the background.
Okay, this is a good question. I would say like a way to reword this to make it slightly better is instead of saying what would you rather be doing if you had that time freedom, because that's like a goal-based situation, right? It's like what would you rather be doing? There can be so many answers to that. Yeah, I'd rather be like, having tequila by the beach. I don't know, like cocktails. Like it can be anything, right? Instead, I would have been like, okay, like what is it that you're missing out on right now because you're working 12 hours a day on the ships, whatever it is. You see how that question, even though it's slightly different worded, like it makes a big difference. What are you missing out on? Not what you want to do, but what are you missing out on? And that's how you build pain.
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
basically the same question, but I just reworded it to make it more pain-based. You had the right idea over here. You just didn't execute it, which is fine.
Makes sense. And I guess like, are you living with family at the moment, or?
Yeah.
Okay. How much time do you really get kind of with your family in the month that you're working?
None, because I'm working away.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's big. I would really probe into this, and that's a good question.
And I guess like in terms of your energy levels as well, how do you feel in that month that you're working?
I've been doing it long enough. It's kind of standard. You have to sort of stay active and fit, and so it's quite tiring if you're doing 12 hours because really you're only eating, sleeping, and then going back to work again. So try and break that cycle would be nice.
Yeah. It sounds like it's very much kind of like you're on kind of a hamster wheel in that month that you're working. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I guess like is it commute far for you as well, like on top of the 12 hours?
I stay on a vessel on a ship.
Now, these questions aren't bad as well. I get it. You're trying to basically get him to come up with pain about a situation. If we just did it smoothly from the start, like what is it about your situation? What tasks do you do? He would have told you all these things himself, the commute, the work, and just ask for examples. But this is fine. You're getting the same outcome. It's actually working. Can someone tell me, he is giving like slightly positive answers here, like he's giving negative answers, but he's also like, oh, it's standard. Yeah, this is my life. It is what it is. Like, I'm just getting by. Like, it's not too bad. Can someone come up with a solution? What would we do here so we can get him into more negative and more pain mindset? TJ, you go first, and then Purush.
In a way, he's sort of softening the pain. You can ask like, it's sort of like, say, for example, with tying back to his example exactly, I forgot the verbiage he used, but use the words exactly against him, and then just being like, what specifically about that makes you feel like, oh, you need something more, and it's just not enough. I want to start something more. Because he's in a pretty good spot. Like he has investments, he's got a month off, and but then there always is a deeper reason. So just find that deeper reason.
Okay, makes sense. Pravesh?
Oh shit, I'm sorry. What was the question? I kind of
Wait one sec, bro. I'll get back to you one sec. Let's go Yash and then Gunkar. Question was, you have time to think about it, is like because he's giving such positive answers sometimes, how do we get him into a negative mindset? Yash, you go.
Well, I'm speaking like personally. A lot of times when they give me positive answers, it was very easy to bite and try and like dig in the positive answers. I would have just leaned out. I would have just been like, "Oh, it sounds like everything's going really well. Like, what's got you?" Whatever the context of where you are in the conversation, and just really lean out, and then he'll bite and he'll open up something, or even if he gives you like surface level answer, then you can probe that, whatever it may be, because it's bound to be negative.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. So basically lean out and let him come to you. Okay, interesting. Gunkar?
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty good what Yash said. I would also say something like, you know what I found after working with like thousands of students, the ones who absolutely crush it, make the most amount of money, they will have a very strong why behind them. And then you give an example kind of related to their situation, and then you kind of go into it, and
Yeah,
then you'd
that's
be like,
pretty
what's your why?
spot on, man. That's spot on, bro. That's
Classic.
very impressive.
Yeah, so yeah, okay. I'll do this way, like I don't know. But yeah, man, yeah, man, it sounds like things are fairly going well, right? So I guess what you like about your current job. And he'll be like giving me some positives that he's already giving me. I'll clarify those. And then I'll be like, okay, things are yeah, man, it just sounds like things are going pretty good. But if there was something that you would love to change about your current situation, that would what would that be though?
Yeah, I think like that's very similar to what Yash was saying, and like some other guys were saying. I think that makes sense. This is like why I think you should combine what all of you guys said. So the problem, like the positive about what Yash and Paresh and TJ, like all of you said, like leaning out a little bit, is you're basically like getting him to come to you. You're like, okay, well, man, if everything's going so well, like why not just keep doing what you're doing? Like, you know, like why do you want to like do business online? Now that's not bad. However, when you're dealing with someone older, when you're dealing with someone a little bit more sophisticated, that can come off a little bit harsh. And if you don't frame it correctly and you don't have like perfect tonality on that, it's very hard to execute. So I'm going to tell you something that's beginner friendly that always lands. It's similar to what Gunkar said. You want to give context. So this is how I would do it. I would be like, got it, man. That makes perfect sense. Honestly, it sounds like you're doing really, really well, like in life. Like, what do you think? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm doing well. I'd be like, okay, can I give you like another perspective as someone who was there? And I would give context with something along the lines of, honestly, we work with a lot of students, very similar to yourself, that work really, really long hours. They actually love their job. They enjoy what they do. You know, like for the most part, they just get by day to day. But you know what I found is there's two types of people. The first type of person is someone who just goes about their day, you know, doesn't really mind it. They don't really think about what they're doing currently, and they just let life go by for the next couple of months with zero emotions. And the second type of person is someone who looks at their current situation, and even if their situation might be fine, they have high standards and they just want to get out of their current situation and go to the next level, and they just hate what they're doing. And what I've found working with students is the people who succeed the most are the ones that have a lot of pain and they just don't like their current situation. So go deeper for me. What specifically is it about your situation right now that you just hate? You see, like when I give context, I explain why it's important for him to feel bad about his situation. He's going to give me a better answer. So I'm combining what all of you just said.
So you said the thing about the two types of people. You said like the comfortable person and then like the person with high standards. And then what was that last thing you said to like tie it together?
And I just like asked the question of, yeah, man. So like the most successful people that I work with, I find are the ones that like are in a current situation where they just want to get out of it. Enough is enough. So that's why I want to know for you, like, what's the worst part about it? Something along the lines of that is what you can do. But overall issue, like you got the pain, you know, like can we do it better? Of course. But you hit the like principles for the most part. I'm just going to go to the price drop. Was there any pre-handling that you had to do here, or was that pretty stock standard?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I think he talked about his past experience. I think I did a bit of pre-handling, but he was basically just saying that he's ready to start and he just hasn't found the right opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to cover that today. I think like it's fine. Like it's not your biggest constraint, but as long as you asked it, because before you weren't even asking it, there's definitely ways we can make that better, and you want to tie it down to fear and nerves, but it's fine. Like we won't focus on that for now. I want to go to like your price drop and how you drop the price, because I know that was a constraint for you on previous offers. Let's have a look. All right, everyone lock in. We're going to have a look at how Ishi drops the price and handles onboarding. Where is it? Okay, here.
Yeah, just there.
Let's have a look.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Yeah.
like if you find it, you know, like you feel like it's a good fit for you and you feel like this would help you reach your goals. That's obviously the most important part. Um,
Yeah.
Now, like next steps are pretty simple from here. So in order to kind of partner with you and implement the system and sort of start selling online, it would be a one-time investment of $3,000. Now, if you
Yep.
feel like this would be a good fit for you, then we can basically start working through the investment and getting you onboarded now. Then you're basically off to the races, ready to start.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, we can do that.
Okay, I'm just going to drop the link in the chat here. So after this, I was basically on call. I was on this call, and then I was on a phone call with him. Then I was on a WhatsApp
Fine.
video call with him because he had so many technical issues. So
That's fine. That's fine. I won't look into those. But like big positive issue. Maybe it's because you were tired and maybe you just didn't have like the emotional like energy in you. But I'm noticing like you just don't care. Like it's 3K. He's like, yep, let's do it. You have the same smile, the same conviction. You don't like you're not like super excited that the deal came through. And that's exactly what you need to do. So everyone like listening to this call, like that is like a perfect price drop. 3K. He goes, yeah, let's do it. And he goes, yeah, sweet. So I'll just drop the link here. The only awkward part is there was like a little bit of silence as you were getting the link. Instead, I would have been like, sweet. So what I'll do now is I'll drop the link and then you just drop it straight away. You don't want to spend time looking for it. I think it's just a bit of awkward silence and it makes him a little bit nervous, but it's fine. I like everything else that you do. Just make sure you have the link ready, you know, before you. This is good. And then he pulls through, right? 3K all up front.
yeah, all up front. That the payment was all fine. It was just really dumb issues. Like it was just like typing the email wrong and then he couldn't share his screen and then it was just technical things, but nothing to do with the offer.
No stress. Light little $300. Good work. Now you just need to like
1,000. Oh, 300 for me.
300 for you. So light work. Now what you need to do is just like rinse and repeat this on all the other calls that you get. And I would say like the main takeaways that everyone can take, including Ishi from this call, is sometimes it's not about how good you are at sales. It's literally about your energy, your conviction, just not caring and staying detached from the outcome, especially when you're going from 0 to 10K a month. Like it's the most important part. Sales skills is stuff that you improve on after. So if there's like a couple of things I took away there, Ishi, it's those. You know, your energy, you're like, you know, you're just staying confident, you're staying detached. Like you need to now bring down every single call. Things you can improve on sales wise is obviously listening more and like having the ability to like pay attention to what they're saying and write down those notes. I think that's one thing you should do moving forward. I don't want to give you 20 pieces of advice. That'll be confusing. I think all those things are like the highest ROI for you moving forward.
Yeah, I think that was good feedback. I think the one thing that's kind of confusing me is still I'm trying to mix two different processes and I there's parts of my own script that maybe I don't understand well enough, like solutions,
Yeah.
because I feel like because the question that's like what's really stopped you from going all in on something, I feel like they've already answered all that. Like, I don't know. I think I skip it sometimes.
Yeah, right now it's fine. Right now it's fine. Like what we're going to work on, like as I review your next call, is now that I know you understand your process, especially your discovery, your energy, your price drop, which are like the most important parts in the call right now. The next part is like focusing on that. And it's not a hard thing. Like it's just like you got to understand the principles behind it, which, you know, we're going to work through. So next call review that we do with you, like I'll just focus on that segment only. Moving forward. I think you have a good.
One last thing that I'm thinking is sometimes I feel like my discovery is kind of too short. And for me, I'm like looking at the time, I'm like, okay, I can't like start showing my screen yet. It's only been like 7 minutes. So I need to just like keep asking more questions. But then am I like wasting time or am I just asking like random questions? Because I'm just trying to extend the data and the pain, but is that not the right way?
When you are a beginner and even advanced, like even 10K a month, like honestly, even 10K a month, unless you're doing like 30 to 40K a month consistently, and you guys are on calendars where there's 12 calls being booked back to back and you're on a time limit, you guys should not even worry about time. Like time should not be a constraint. Like, what are you gonna do if you finish the call in 35 minutes? Like scroll on Instagram for the next 25 before the next call. Like there's really nothing productive you can do because you have 1 hour dedicated to that call. And most of the time when you're on like beginner offers, you actually have the next couple of hours free because there's no calls booked or they're no showed. So I wouldn't worry about time at all. I would rather you spend more time and close the deal than you spend less time and rush it and not learn the skill sets and then like you cook the call. Right.
Wait, my question's the opposite, I think. So I'm basically saying that I've asked like a couple pain questions and they've given me some kind of answer, right? Like they've said, yeah, I want to get out of my job because of this and
Yes.
whatever.
Like I got
But
that
then,
question. I would go longer. Like I wouldn't worry about like,
okay.
yeah.
So, but then like I just don't know what else to ask. So I just ask like random context type of questions. Is that all
So
right?
that's fine for now. Like the reason I'm saying I just want you to try, I just want you to try to make your discoveries longer, try go probe into pain is because you trying will help you like ask those uncomfortable questions. The reason why you feel stuck 7 minutes into a call is because you're just not listening hard enough and you don't have the skill set to ask enough questions yet, which is fine, but we need to work on that skill set, right? So what's the only way we can work on it is by trying. So I think you writing notes down, you actually writing key points down, you asking sharper questions is going to lead to longer discoveries. But I want you to try, of course. Like if I look at this call, imagine if we stopped the call at, 8 minutes of discovery, because after 8 minutes, you started coming up with questions that were about pain. And that's actually what led to this deal being closed. That's why I said like you should try. There's no harm in it.
Okay. And do you recommend having the script up? Because I know I lose my flow sometimes when I just like go back to the script and I'm like, okay, like what do I ask next? But then if I just have dot points, I'm like, I'm gonna miss something. So what's
Have
the
your
best
script
like
up.
screen setup?
If you feel like you want to have your script up and it helps you get back into flow and helps you get back into the process, have it up. But I think like Ishi, as you get better at asking the questions, as you get better at listening to the prospect and you write things down in notes, you'll just get more comfortable with that. But at the start, like I always had my script up because I just had this subconscious feeling that I wasn't going anywhere and I just needed to have like that process in case I got lost and it feels comforting. So if you want to have it up, sure. I don't think it's going to be a negative. But moving forward, like once you get really good at listening and probing and asking the right questions, go back and watch this Fathom. There were so many points where you could have expanded on in that call itself in discovery. Like I told you those questions, so that your discoveries are longer. It's just going to become easier for you.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. But there's a lot of positives there. Like focus on the positive, and the one or two things you need to improve, and just do this on every call, and then bring them to me.
Yeah, I think my like immediate kind of takeaways are to write down notes.
Yeah.
And then I think I need to also just like fix up my script
Sure.
and then just do it.
Sure. Do whatever feels comfortable for you. I know I'm giving you like such like advice where it's like just do whatever works for you. And the reason for it is because you know how to sell. I can see you know how to sell. So like I'm not concerned with you changing up things for you specifically. So do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Gunka.
Bro, what are your thoughts on having like a pain chunk down list, like a hot button? For example, you have different sort of pains like financial freedom, they're purely looking for just extra money. And then you have a different one, more like, want more time with their kids or want more time for themselves or hate their jobs. And then for each type of like pain, you have all sorts of like pain chunking questions. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually used to have one. I'll see what I find it and I'll send it your way. Like realistically, you want to make that list yourself. Why? Because as you do more and more calls, you'll start to realize that there are basically like all the prospects are the same. Like there's single moms, there's young hustlers, there's sophisticated A types, there's the corporate workers, then there's like, the tradies, like everyone kind of falls into this one of those categories and you have a general idea of what their pain points are going to be before you even start the call. So if you want to like write down all the questions that you would ask normally on a call and have it on a script, sure. But in the future, what you'll realize is you don't want to like copy that script and ask every single question on there just for the sake of asking it. You want it there just as a backup so you have clarity in case you don't know how to ask a certain question. I would always rely on listening to a prospect first and then coming up with the question yourself. But if you want to list just to have clarity in your mind, sure. But don't like read every single question in that list just for the sake that it's there.
Yeah, 100%.
Let me see I'll see if I can find it. Otherwise, I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send it to you privately, bro. Let's see if I can find that. And I'll send it to you as well, Ishi. I think it's useful. Anyone else that wants it.
Sorry, what is this?
I'll send you like a document that I have of like a list of questions for each type of pain point. And I think you can pick and choose some of the questions from there as well. So it'll help.
Thanks.
Alrighty. I know we went a little bit over time, so everyone that stayed, great job. Again, it's not a surprise if I'm looking at every single person on this call. Like, you guys are all on opportunities, like, for the most part, unless you're very, very new. And like, I think like a lot of you don't realize like how rare that is in this industry. Like, if you go into not even just mentorship programs, but you go into small communities of 50 to 100 people, like most people in that community are not on roles. So the fact that like every single person is on roles, making money, a lot of you make a significant amount of money is like amazing. And it's all credit goes to you for actually showing up to these calls consistently. Like I said to every one of you at the start before joining DSA, the best students in DSA are the ones that show up the most, they post the most wins, and like they're the most consistent in messaging me. It's a very simple formula. So keep it up, and I'll see you all tomorrow on the beginner call.
Thanks, Kashi. See you.
Is
Thank you.
Kashi.
Peace.